Welcome. My name is Merle Whitney. For this mobile app session, we're going to be positioning a JavaScript slideshow on our main XDK page, the page that we can see here in front of us, and we're going to replace the picture with a slideshow. We will also be linking the footers, Brandon's Backdrop and Crane Beach, to 3 separate pages in our mobile app. We also will learn how to make an image transparent using the CSS opacity property. During this lesson, we will incorporate both internal and external CSS code. Let us go to our develop screen. In this screen, we're going to remove the image. So we're going to look for the image. And here we can see the image. There's the line for the image code. div align equals center is the code that centered the image horizontally on the screen. We want to remove that code completely because we're going to be replacing the image with a slideshow. So we're going to delete that code. In this slideshow, we're going to be using 3 images. The Bats Rock image, the Brandon's Beach image, and the Crane Beach image. And if you would remember from the last class, these images need to be copied into the XDK folder, and the folder is the name of your project. And for this project, our project name is Project 4. So remember, if you want to see the pictures, you have to take these pictures and you have to physically place them into the Project 4 folder. We're going to be using for the slideshow a JavaScript slideshow. So we're going to get the code. We're going to go to the desktop. We're going to open the mobile app folder and we're going to open the slideshow text. This slideshow is going to be placed in a table. Here we see the code for the table border equal 1. And we actually going to center the slideshow, so there is the beginning center code. Your slideshow has the beginning tag for JavaScript. We're going to be using what we call arrays for a slideshow. And we're going to be using variables in the slideshow. Later on, we're going to be learning about variables and actually how to write the code in JavaScript. For this session, we are going to simply place the images within the code. So the first thing we need to do is to take the code. So we're going to copy the code. Highlight the code, copy it. Then we're going to go back to the XDK. And we're going to paste the code at the place where the picture was. So I'm going to Control and V and place the code. Now we're going to scroll to the top of the code where we want the pictures to be placed. As you can see, the name of the array is called Ultimate Show, and the word variable is used as a word to actually store the place where we're going to save that variable. The pictures start from 0, and as you can see here, the Bats Rock picture comes up because it was physically put within Project 4. Then we have the Brandon's Beach picture. And we need the Crane Beach because we're only going to be using 3 pictures. Brandon's, Bats Rock, and Crane Beach. So we don't need the Bronx Beach, so let's just edit this and call it Crane Beach. And we're going to remove the other 3 pictures because for this exercise, you're only going to be using 3 pictures. So there we have it. Bats Rock, Brandon's Beach, and Crane Beach. And you can test to see whether you have the correct name for the picture. If you put the cursor over the picture name and you don't see the picture, maybe you need to make a correction. Here we have beach twice, so we're going to take out the second beach, and there you can see the Crane Beach picture. For this picture, our slide width is 300 pixels. The height of the slide is 200. The cycle is continuous, meaning that the slideshow will move from one picture to the other continuously. The random order, we have no for the random order because the picture will be shown in the order in which it appears. And we have the background color for the slide as white. We have the slide delay as 4,000. So we're going to look at the slide now to see the picture and to see the slideshow and to see if we need to make any changes to the slideshow. So again, all that we did here is we wrote the code in and we placed the pictures that we want to appear in the slideshow. Remember that the Java text script is enclosed within a table that we're going to look at a little later on in this class. And also, we're centering that table on the page. So we want to go to the index.html, which is our main file, and we want to emulate. Always save, say yes to save. And here we have the slideshow, and you can see that the slideshow moves from one image to the other. There are 3 images, and you can actually see the images changing. The next thing that we want to do for this mobile app is to look at the different pages that we have. We want to connect Brandon's to the Brandon's page, Bats Rock to the Bats Rock page, and Crane Beach to the Crane Beach page. So we want to go to the Develop tab, and we're actually going to go to the footer. We're going to say Control and End to go to the bottom of our document. And we're going to look at the footer. If you remember from the last class, we had the Brandon's, Bats Rock, and Crane Beach. And we want to link this Brandon's footer to the Brandon's page. We already have the pages in the XDK. As you can see, Bats Rock HTML, Brandon's HTML, and Crane Beach HTML. To create a new page, all you need to do is say File and New, and then type the code for your page and save it as an HTML file. Or you can go into the home site editor, create the page, save it as an HTML file, and physically place the page in Project 4. For this project, we created the Bats Rock HTML page, the Brandon's HTML, and the Crane Beach HTML. and we copy those pages physically into project 4. So now what we need to do is we need to make the link from the main page to those pages. Right now we're going to go over to the editor just that you can see clearly what the link looks like. For example, if I were to type the word Brandon's and I want to link from Brandon's to another page, I would go to the link tab here, which is the anchor tab, search for the page that I want to link to, and we're just going to pick an example here. We're going to look for a file, maybe the beaches file here, and we're going to click on open and OK. So here you can see the code that you will need. You need a hard reference, href, equal the name of the page that you're going to go to, and then you want to close the tag. So let's go back to the XDK and put that code in now that you can see clearly what the code looks like. And we're going to go to the Brandon's page, and we're going to say a href equal open quotes, and we can actually see the page here, and we actually want to go to the Brandon's Beach page. So and you can look on the left and you can see the name of the page, which is brandons.html. So let's type it, brandons.html, and it comes up here again. So let's choose it. And as you can see here, you have an ending quotation mark. So you have a hard reference equal brandons.html, and you close with the greater than sign. Whenever you close, the ending tag always jumps in. So you remember you need to take that, you need to cut it and place it at the end of the word. So let's look again. We need to be able to click on the word Brandon's and go to the Brandon's page. So pay close attention to the code. A space href equal open quotation marks brandons.html. And we want to do the same with the other beaches. For example, the Bats Rock. Now, since we already did the Brandons, what we could do as a shortcut is simply copy this code, use it for the Bats Rock beach, but you want to change the word Brandon's to Bats Rock and make sure that you have the correct name of the beach. And you can look here and see batsrock.html. So we actually want to type batsrock.html. BATTS. And once you start to type, you will see it come up. You can click and it will come in. And already I have the closing tag. So I have a href equal batsrock.html. I need to close that tag with a greater than sign, slash, and you can see a less than sign. That is less than slash a greater than. You want to do the same for the Crane Beach. So again, we're going to copy. And once you type it, you can copy it, copy the code, and try to remember the code that you're typing. Control V and paste that code. Then you have to go after Crane Beach and give the ending code. So you have less than slash a greater than. Let's go to this code here and try to bring this one a bit down. Let's push it down. Right. So we can clearly see the three of them. This one, beginning link tag, ending link tag. For Batsrock, we have beginning link tag, ending link tag. And for Brandon's, we have the same thing for Crane Beach, that is. We need to change this Brandon's to Crane Beach because remember we copied it. So the name of the beach is cranebeach.html. Well, let's type CRANE, and there it comes in, and you click, and you can see it coming in there, cranebeach.html. What we want to do now is to emulate to see what we get. Okay, we can see the links here. Let's try them. Click on Brandon's, click on Batsrock, click on Crane Beach, and we can see the changes. We're going to go back to the Develop tab and emulate again. Again, you see Brandon's, Batsrock, and Crane Beach. We're going to reload the app so it comes back to the front page. Now, if you look at the footer for the Brandon's Beach, you will see that the background color of the footer is dark blue. And when you click on a link by default, the link becomes blue. So we actually want to change the color or the background color of that footer maybe to light blue or another color that we will be able to see the footer words properly. So we're going to go into the code and we're going to go to the CSS. Let's Control and Home to get to the top of the screen quickly. And we're going to go to the CSS for the footer code. And it says background color dark blue, so let's change that to light blue. And let's emulate and see what difference that makes. There you go. It's a different color altogether. And remember that you can change to any color that you want to change to. So once we have the code for the first page, which would be the footer code, we then need to go to the other pages and put the code. So I am going to go to the Crane Beach page, and you will see that I have the same footer code. There you have in the style sheet, you have # footer, which is the footer ID. You have the beginning brace and you have the ending brace. In our last session, we went through the code for the footer. And let's go to the end of the page. And you can actually see the footer. So what we would have done here is to take that same footer code from the first page, which is the main page, index.html, and we actually copy that footer to the Crane Beach page. You will do the same thing for the Brandon's page. Let's go to the Brandon's page. Let's go to at the top here you can see the footer code for the CSS. And at the bottom, let's Control and N, then go to the bottom. You can also see the footer. So all three pages have the footer at the bottom and the CSS code in the style at the top of the sheet in the head. Remember that the internal CSS code goes in the head of your document. For this code, we have an ID. Our ID is called footer. So we put the number sign before the word footer. And then if you scroll down to the bottom, you will see that we use the ID footer, the same one that we used above. This is the beginning tag for the footer, and then we have the div, which is the ending tag for the footer. We want to go to the Brandon's page because we did something a bit different for the Brandon's page. In the Brandon's page, instead of putting the footer at the top, yes, we did put the footer at the top in the internal style sheet here. So maybe it's the Batsrock page that we made a difference. Yes, the Batsrock page, we did something different. And I want to show you what it is. For the Batsrock page, we did what is called an external style sheet. And an external style sheet is where we simply take the footer information and place it in a separate file. And that footer information has to actually be physically placed in the project. So we're going to go back to the index or any other page that has the footer. We're going to take the footer, copy it, and we're going to create a new document. We're going to paste that footer code in the document. And this is the footer code that will make up the external page. And we're going to call the footer file save as. We're going to call it, and notice that it's going into the project 4 folder. We're going to call it footer info.css because it's a cascading style sheet. We have to put the extension and we're going to save it. And you can see it here to the left, footer info.css. Now we're going to go back to the Batsrock page. And I want you to look at this piece of code because this piece of code here is the code that is going to link us to this document called footerinfo.css. This actually takes the place of the internal CSS code. So what is the difference between the two? For this one, if you had code that you had to place on many different screens, many different mobile app screens, you could put all the code in one document, and at the top of the document in the head, you could say link rel equals style sheet, type equal text/css, and this is the part where the footer lies. Hard reference equal the footer. You should remember when we did our Google font code, we actually did an external link linking to the Google page where all the different fonts exist, so that we get the same exact thing for the footer as the other pages. You still have to put the footer on each page. But instead of putting the CSS code for the footer in the head, we simply put a link to a separate document. So let's emulate and look at the pages again. And we need to emulate here. So we have click on Brandon's, which takes us to the Brandon's page. Bats Rock, which takes us to the Bats Rock Beach. Crane Beach, which takes us to the Crane Beach. And reload. And usually on your app, you're going to you need to have either an icon or the word home on each page that will actually take you back to the home page. So here I have Brandon's Bats Rock and Crane Beach. So on each of my pages should actually have a link that says home. So let's do that. Let's go to the index page. Make sure you're on index.html. And we're going to go down to the bottom of this page. And we want to make a link for the home page. So since we already have this link, we can probably copy this link and just change it to home. And our home page is called index.html. So we're going to copy this first link. And let's just push it down so we can actually see what we're doing. Paste the link that we copied just now. And we're going to call it index.html because that's our main page. And instead of the word Brandon's, we have the word home. And we want to do that on each of the pages. Now, you can link on an image too. You can have an icon that you can place the link on. It doesn't have to be a word. You can link on a picture the same way you would link on text. I'm going to go to the Bats Rock page. And I'm going to go to the bottom of the page. And I am actually going to paste the home link right there. And I want to go to the Brandon's page and do the same thing. So let's go to the end here. And we're going to paste the link for the home. And we want to do the same with the Crane Beach page. So click on Crane Beach. And make some space here to Control and V and paste. So we have home and some spaces, Brandon's and some spaces, Bats Rock and some spaces. Then we have the Crane Beach. So let's go to the index and see if we need to make any changes. There you go. So home, which would be the main page, Brandon's, Bats Rock, Crane Beach, and always back to home. I want you to take a look at the Crane Beach page here and notice that this picture is transparent. You can actually write over the picture. We want to look at a code called opacity, which makes the picture look transparent. So we're going to go to the Crane Beach page. We click on develop and we're going to go to the Crane Beach page. The code that makes the picture transparent is called an opacity CSS code. And here it is. We're using the ID called image. So anything within the image tag will take this code. And we're saying that the opacity for this image is 0.4. So we have number sign, image, open brace, opacity, colon, 0.4. So that is the degree to which it will become transparent. If I were to take the 0.4 out and go back and look at that Crane Beach, let's see how it would look. So I'm going to click on Crane Beach. As you can see, you have a full picture. It is not transparent. I'm going to go back to the Crane Beach again. And we're going to put back in that code, 0.4. We're going to look at it again. We want to go back to index. Go to the crane beach, and you see that the picture is now transparent, 0.4. And you can change it. You can make it either higher or lower for the transparency. I want to show you the code. You see, this is number sign image, which is the ID. So if we go right to the image, you will see where we put ID equal image. And we placed it right in div align equal center tab. So all we had to do is to place the ID here. And remember that this ID corresponds to the CSS ID that we placed here for opacity. The same way how the footer ID corresponded to the footer code at the bottom of the page. Then we want to look at the backdrop page. So we're going to go to emulate again, and we're going to go to the backdrop. Now the backdrop page is simply a plain image with text. Let's go to the Brandon's page. The Brandon's page looks a bit different. There you have a picture in the background, and inside of the picture you actually have a transparent image, which is the same image except that it's transparent, and then you have text inside of that image. So we want to go to look at the CSS code for the Brandon's Beach to see how we got that code. So we're going to develop, and we're going to the Brandon's.html page. And we want to look at the CSS code that gave us that effect. Here we have what is called a class. Instead of a CSS ID, you can write what is called a CSS class, and it works the same way. But instead of putting a number sign, we put a full stop, a dot. So the background then for the picture, say div background, you have the open brace and the closed brace. You have the width, and then you have the height. The width of the picture was 300 px, the height was 250. And then the background picture itself was Brandon's Beach, as you can see here. The picture had a border of 2 px and it was solid. And then inside of that picture, on the inside, you have transbox, and you can give the class any name you want to give it. For the transbox, which was the inside image, which is really the transparency image, the width, as you can see, was 250. So it's going to fit inside the background, which is 300. And then the height is 180, which will fit inside the height of the background image itself. Then we gave it margins, left and right of 20 px and top and bottom of 20 px. Then you have the background color being white, you have the border. And that image in the middle, the opacity was 0.6. And the code that we see here for the opacity is what we would use for Internet Explorer 8 and earlier. Then you have the paragraph, which is the paragraph text. So you have transbox P for the paragraph. Remember, you can put whatever name you want after the dot. And for the paragraph, we have the margins, and we have the font weight equal bold, and we have the color of the text. So this CSS code is a CSS code that we use for that image. So we have the same image. So here we say div align equals center because we actually want to center the whole thing. But there you can see the class. Div class equal background refers to the div background here. Then div class equal transbox refers to the transbox that you can see. And then the P, div transbox P, relates here to the text that you see in the box. So the code, the CSS code for the div background and the div transbox and transbox P, which is the paragraph, all relate to this text. And you can see here that you make here background and transbox, all relating to the code. So let's look at the app again. We're going to go to index and we're going to emulate. And here, home will take you back home. Brandon's, Bats Rock, Crane Beach. Back home. That is our lesson today. Thank you for listening.